What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. One thing's for sure, last week's Raw shocked the WWE Universe as it featured a number of explosive angles, including the literal explosion involving Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley through the Titantron. But what did WWE have planned for the go-home episode of Raw before Extreme Rules this Sunday? Did WWE top it? Well, one thing's for sure, we got one of the most WTF endings of Raw in recent times. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell as Wrestlelamia looks at the 8th July 2019 Raw. This week's action comes from Newark, New Jersey, with the usual suspects Corey Graves, Michael Cole and Renee Young calling the matches. Raw gets straight into it with a mixed elimination tag match between Universal Champion Seth Rollins and Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch versus Andrade and Zelina Vega. This match was made on Twitter, another way the WWE is utilizing social media to promote itself. Vega and Lynch start off with Vega getting a near fall until Lynch rallies, leading to Vega tagging in Andrade. Andrade shows he's got potential, but he's not in Rollins' league just yet. Tag to Lynch and the man makes short work of Vega, forcing a submission thanks to the disarmer. But seated up front row was Lacey Evans, and before a brawl could ensue between Lynch and Lacey Evans, Seth Rollins was holding her back. Rollins returns to the ring and locks up with Andrade. It's a good showing by Andrade, but he goes down for the 1-2-3 after Rollins hits the blackout. So Rollins and Becky Lynch get a win with a clean sweep, and the two celebrate on the entrance ramp, providing an easy target for Baron Corbin to blindside Rollins. Lacey Evans joins in as she and Corbin beat down their opponents before Extreme Rules. Paul Heyman makes his way to the ring and tells the fans Extreme Rules is coming from Philadelphia, and he knows what it means to be extreme in Philadelphia. Heyman tells the fans he's built up his credibility as a liar and promises Brock Lesnar will cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase this Sunday against Universal Champion or the WWE Champion. Is he lying or just messing with the champion's minds? Heyman says only he and the future Universal or WWE Champion Brock Lesnar know for sure. It's a good promo by Heyman as usual. Backstage, Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre find a man emptying out trash, and Shane O'Mac asks his name. The man tells him his name is Tony, and Shane tells him he may be Roman's tag team partner tonight. Next up, there's a 6-man tag match, best 2 out of 3 falls match, between the Usos and The Miz versus The Revival and Elias. First fall sees some wild action as all 6 men end up battling, and with The Miz and Elias outside the ring, The Revival hit the Shatter Machine on Jimmy for the first fall. The second fall features more action after the commercial break, as the babyfaces even the falls when The Miz hits the skull-crushing finale on Dawson. The third and deciding fall has the Usos super kicking the Revival, followed by Jey Uso hitting a splash on the Revival's Dawson for the win. It's 24/7 championship time, as the champion Drake Maverick couldn't be happier, celebrating his honeymoon in Newark, New Jersey with his true love, wife Renee Michelle. Or is it really the 24/7 championship? Renee doesn't look too happy, but Drake is doing a good job getting over with his obsession over the belt. The way the WWE is portraying the 24/7 championship, it has a one ring to rule them all vibe to it, with everyone desiring to hold it. Shane and Drew continue looking for Roman's tag team partner, running into a man selling beer. Could he be the one? Rey Mysterio is back in action after a 6-week absence due to injury. Rey is so excited that he issues an open challenge and unfortunately finds himself face to face with Bobby Lashley. So now we got the Master of the 619 versus Mr. Charismatic. Mysterio gets the early advantage, but it's all for naught as Lashley catches him off the top rope and slams him before spearing Mysterio for the win. What a great return. Lashley takes Mysterio and looks like he's going to throw him through the Titantron's LED screen. However, he relents and throws Mysterio at a group of referees. Lashley proclaims he'll be the last man standing this Sunday when he faces Braun Strowman in a last standing match. Kyla Braxton interviews AJ Styles and the Good Brothers about their post-match attack on Ricochet last week. The Phenomenal One tells her he owes no one an explanation. Kyla gets nowhere when she asks Gallows and Anderson for their explanation. Up next is CESARO versus No Way Jose. No Way Jose gets in just enough offense, so this isn't a squash. However, he proves no match for the Swiss Superman, who hits a gut-wrench suplex and a giant swing before locking in a sharpshooter on Jose, with Jose eventually tapping out. It looks like Cesaro is getting a push, which could be good news if it continues. The Swiss Cyborg has a lot to offer in the ring if the WWE books him right. Time for a backstage segment starring the Street Profits as the NXT Tag Team Champions discuss the Extreme Rules match between Roman Reigns and The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. There's highlights of last week's match between Mike and Maria Kanellis against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, where Maria reveals she was pregnant. Mike tries to make up with Maria, but when she asks for ice cream, he asks if she wants non-fat ice cream and she accuses him of calling her fat. Yep, it's the next 5 years of getting buried. Nikki Cross and SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley will meet tonight in a Beat the Clock match to determine who picks the stipulation for Bayley's title defense against Cross's so-called friend Alexa Bliss. Bayley and Cross are interviewed and Bayley accuses Bliss of using Cross, but Cross defends her and says she owes everything to Bliss and will prove herself tonight by winning her match and beating Bayley's time. The WWE is doing a good job setting the stage for the eventual Nikki Cross vs Alexa Bliss series, and hopefully Cross will get a chance to showcase her skills and do more than just job out to Little Miss Bliss. We're back to the 24/7 rule as Drake Maverick is learning how to stay 24/7 champion by avoiding the usual gang of idiots searching for him. R-Truth and Carmella are looking for Maverick too. But wait up, it's jobber smashing time next as the Viking Raiders go up against Colin Justin and Devin Justin. The Viking Raiders extends an apparent family beatdown tonight, squashing the Justin boys. Roman Reigns is interviewed about Shane O'Mac's mind games, but the big dog doesn't know or care who his tag team partner is, and the only mind games are the one he and The Undertaker will be playing. Ricochet is interviewed about the club delivering a club ring to him last week. He says he was happy when the man he respected for years asked for a face-to-face match. Instead, he got a beating of a lifetime. He knows he won't be facing Styles alone at Extreme Rules, but he's ready to beat down all 3 members of the club. So next up we get Ricochet vs Luke Gallows, who's accompanied with AJ Styles and Karl Anderson in a non-title match. Ricochet proves he's no joke when he defeats Gallows one-on-one, rolling him up for the pin. But after the match, AJ taunts Ricochet and challenges him to take on Karl Anderson next, reminding the champion he said he'd go through all 3 men. So of course, next up we got Ricochet vs Karl Anderson in a non-title match. Ricochet finds himself in a tough battle as Karl Anderson uses his power advantage to try and dominate the match. Ultimately, Ricochet prevails when he lands a running dropkick on Anderson and ends the match with a 630 splash. But it's now time for Ricochet's prerequisite post-match beatdown as the club batter him around the ring. AJ hits a brainbuster on the US champion and the Good Brothers hit the Magic Killer on Ricochet. AJ motions for his partners in crime to help him hit a Styles Clash off the turnbuckles, just as he did last week. However, Styles decides not to and tells Ricochet to stay down. Styles is going to leave Ricochet in enough shape so he can beat him down this Sunday. The club go to leave, but when Ricochet gets up, they return to the ring. Styles has the Good Brothers restrain Ricochet as he hits the phenomenal forearm. It's now time for the Beat the Clock match as Bayley and Sarah Logan clash off first. So knowing that time is of the essence, Bayley does everything possible to end this early. Logan isn't going to make this easy and puts up a good fight before the huggable one catches her with a sunset bomb for the win, with a time of 4 minutes and 32 seconds. We then get Nikki Cross vs Dana Brooke, and Cross has to defeat Brooke in less than 4 minutes and 32 seconds if she's going to be able to choose the stipulation for Sunday's SmackDown Women's Championship match. Brooke tries to help extend things by taking her time getting into the ring, but Cross chases after her. She makes short work of Brooke, defeating her with a swinging neckbreaker, with 1 minute and 51 seconds left on the clock. Cross announces that she's opting for a 2-on-1 handicap match for Bayley's title defense at Extreme Rules. Nikki taunts Bayley and says she needs a good friend like Cross is to Bliss. Bayley slaps her and beats down Cross, hitting a flying elbow smash before leaving her laying there. Now, we know this is 2-on-1, but this would be the best scenario for Sasha Banks to return. She won't be able to get in the ring with Bayley, but at least she can try and even the odds somehow by being in her corner. Backstage, Mike Kanellis brings ice creams and pickles to his pregnant wife, but she is not pleased. She tells Mike she may not even be the child's father. Ouch. Corey Graves interviews Rollins and Lynch about their winners take all match against Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans at Extreme Rules, and asks if the relationship will get in the way of their match, but Lynch dismisses his question. Another segment with the Street Profits as they make predictions on the winner between Roman and Taker versus Shane and Drew. They continue to search for Roman's tag team partner, and it seems that they've come to a decision and picked a partner as Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre go up against Roman Reigns and Gary Garbett? Yeah, the arena's janitor. Garbett is wearing a luchador mask as he makes his way to the ring for arguably the biggest night of his life. Reigns starts off strong against McIntyre, but when the referee tells Reigns Gary has tagged in, things look bleak. However, when Drew goes after Gary, he gets a springboard elbow on Drew before knocking Shane out of the ring. Springboard crossbody on Shane as Gary is showcasing some mad skills. Unfortunately, Drew catches him with the Claymore, allowing Shane to end the match by pinning him. After the bout, Roman hits the Superman punch on McIntyre as Shane lives to fight another day. Roman unmasks Gary, revealing he's Cedric Alexander. WTF. Now this wasn't much of a main event, but the surprise of seeing Cedric Alexander did add something to it, and it was good to see the WWE keeping The Undertaker out of things. But what was the overall opinion? Tonight's Raw was hit and miss with way too many squashes. Rey Mysterio returning after a 6-week absence only to get destroyed by Bobby Lashley made Lashley look good, but did nothing for Rey with a lukewarm return. While it's good to see the Viking Raiders and Cesaro getting pushed, the WWE needs to fit in some quality matches too. Their no matches during commercials rule continues to drag down the show, and while Raw is continuing to avoid long in-ring talk segments, replacing them with unnecessary talk segments backstage, we're talking to you Shane, they're still boring. As for highlights of the show, this week's Raw was good in continuing the pushes for the Viking Raiders and Cesaro, Ricochet defeating the Good Brothers. It also did a good job advancing storylines leading to Sunday's Extreme Rules pay-per-view, one of them giving Cedric Alexander an unlikely role in tonight's main event. Let's hope it actually leads to something. But what about the lowlights? Sadly, Vince McMahon didn't seem to learn much from the success of last week's show, instead bringing back pointless talk segments and repeating them to death, whether it was Shane and Drew looking for Roman's tag partner, the Street Profits' pointless backstage segments, or Mike and Maria Kanellis' ongoing baby drama. The WWE went from less is more as seen last week to more is less this week, repeating segments with the same people that could have been done in one segment, opening up room for others. Let's hope Vince McMahon didn't see Raw's success as a vindication for his past booking policies, and he scraps what made Raw better last week. This was a meh show, and a terrible follow-up to last week's Raw, once again proving that consistency continues to be lacking in the WWE. But what are your thoughts on the show? What are your thoughts on the ending? Is this a good enough go-home episode before Sunday's Extreme Rules pay-per-view? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.